Hello there and welcome to MCJ Sports. My name is Marco Yerkovich.
I'm Easton Nelson.
All right, on today's video, we have something pretty special for you. We have a full episode of NostraDAMNus, which was a very fun sports prediction segment from the Dudes Being Guys Sports podcast.
Before I begin, I'd just like to remind everyone to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below.
All right, let's get right on with the predictions. Easton, what was your NostraDAMNus?
Mine is that the Nebraska Cornhuskers basketball team will make it to the NCAA tournament and win at least one game.
Any other specifications on that? Amount of wins, seeding?
I don't know how many wins because it's a tough conference, and I mean, you never know with Nebraska, but I think that they can get a 4 to 8 seed, honestly, if they continue the hot streak. I mean, they're not really on a hot streak because they just lost to Minnesota, but they beat Creighton, and they've had some pretty promising wins so far this season, and I think they can continue it.
Right, they've played pretty well, you know. They beat Seton Hall, who beat
Kentucky.
Beat Kentucky, right? That's a great win. They demolished Creighton, who is always in the tournament or, you know, around the bubble, so that's a really solid win. And they're going to have opportunities to prove themselves in the Big Ten.
There's a lot of ranked Big Ten teams this year.
Right. How do you think
as there always is?
How are they going to fare in the Big Ten this season then?
I mean, I think the commentator, the very first game, who do we play? Mississippi Valley State or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, not a very good basketball college, but the commentator said that he thinks that Nebraska has one of the top 5 starting lineups in all of college basketball, which I think is kind of true, except you go to their bench and it's just there's no scoring.
What about Hyman?
Come on.
He's good. He's good.
he's
6'11" freshman, walk on, pretty great.
The best bench player is Nana Kenton. And he's
really
straight
great.
Up
a lot of hustle
straight
plays.
Up 3-point shooter.
Listen, I think this is a pretty solid NostraDAMNus. I think there's a high probability of this happening. I think the Nebraska basketball team is a really solid team right now.
They'll be back in the rankings soon.
Yeah,
as they're like 26th right now.
Yeah, they're just on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to my NostraDAMNus. It is kind of something we discussed on an earlier podcast. And now I think it's become a little bit more mainstream, but I'm sticking with it because I came up with it first, and I'm pretty sure I did. So I have Mike McCarthy. He's going to be the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns next season. So the Browns fired Hugh Jackson. Greg Williams is their interim coach. Then meanwhile, a couple weeks later, the Packers fire Mike McCarthy. The Browns have the former Packers GM John Dorsey, and he's doing a tremendous job in Cleveland right now. He's doing a great job.
Did Dorsey and McCarthy get along?
Yeah. John Dorsey is actually the guy that drafted Aaron Rodgers. So drafting Baker Mayfield, you have to have some confidence in his decision making, and of course, knowing that Green Bay is a team that historically does not go after free agents. And the fact that they were able to build a Super Bowl caliber team for that 5-year stretch in the early 2010s, that was all his drafting. There were no free agent pickups, so you know he's really great through the draft. And Cleveland has a lot of really good draft picks. So I think it's a no-brainer for him to end up in Cleveland. I think it's a really good team right now. I think they're actually ahead of schedule. I had them winning 6 games this year.
Really?
They could. I said it. It's on tape somewhere. Find the video. It's an early podcast.
I don't know if they'll get that far, but
6-10 is what I said. Right now they're 5-7-1.
Yeah.
So they're on their way to 6 wins, if not more. So this Cleveland team is really good. So what do you think about Mike McCarthy ending up in Cleveland?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. When's the last time they've had a well-known coach? Like, I mean, they've had coordinators. Is Hugh Jackson really
not
well-known?
Okay,
He was a good offense coordinator for the Bengals for a couple years, but I mean, he got there and won 2 games, 3 games? I think it was 2.
In Cleveland, how many Hugh Jackson won? He won 3 games total.
Okay.
He was 3-36.
Great record.
Second worst win percentage of all time for an NFL head coach, which is somewhere you don't want to be in the record books, to be quite honest.
But
so anything is an improvement. They're improving this season. They're playing very well. And honestly, I think Mike McCarthy could make this. I think they're a borderline playoff team next year with Mike McCarthy at head coach, and another year for Baker Mayfield.
They have quite a few draft picks this year, don't they? Because
they
who
do.
they trade? what's the wide receiver's name? Callaway? Was it Callaway?
Josh Gordon.
Oh no, well I'm talking Josh Gordon, but the other one that got traded to the Bills, they got like a high, I think it was a second rounder for him.
I mean, so that's
I can't
even
remember what his
more
name is,
draft
though.
capital for them in this upcoming draft for John Dorsey to play with. So on top of an already really talented team that's going to win 5, 6, maybe 7 games this season, getting a great head coach, another year for the first overall draft pick at quarterback, there was nowhere for this team to go but up. Obviously, a division in which the Steelers are very talented but always a mess, a lot of drama. There's the dumpster fire known as the Cincinnati Bengals, and Baltimore, who is figuring themselves out at quarterback. They've maintained their identity, but they could be on and off depending on how Lamar Jackson plays. So Cleveland is in a really good spot right now in both the AFC and in their division as a whole. So I think this hiring of Mike McCarthy will be absolutely crucial. So that is it for episode 1 of NostraDAMNus. We hope you liked it. If you did, click the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. That's also down there. Leave a comment down below, which is way below all those other recommended videos. Don't click on those on your way down. Get all the way down to the comments. Tell us why we're wrong. And
or right.
Or right. I mean, you could be nice. We
Looking
will
at
see you guys
you,
next time for maybe NostraDAMNus episode 2. All right. See ya.
Peace out.